Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing well on a Saturday. Thank you for staying tuned with us. And we've got a great topic for you. But first, 2 weeks. 2 weeks to Christmas. Are you doing your shopping? Doing the hustle bustle? Family? Christmas parties?
It's a blessed time of the year.
It is. It's a great time of the year. It can be a stressful time of the year. Keep in mind, if your home's on the market, if you're our clients, or if you have your home on the market elsewhere, keep in mind buyers are looking.
They are looking.
In the next couple of weeks, it's some of the busiest time projecting for the first part of the year. A lot of people are looking at real estate. Our calls are increasing. December is one of our busiest times of the year, besides spring and summer. It's neglected for a multiple choice of reasons, but believe it or not, with inventory down, it's a prime time of the season. We've got a great topic that we'll be talking about today. I appreciate you guys staying tuned. Pretty neat. If you like TLC or Flip That House, HGTV, Flip That House. We're going to be talking about flipping a home, the process, what you need to do to invest in real estate, and hopefully we can give you some tips that we've been there, done that, been behind the contractor hammer and leading that charge, and give you some tips on what to do in the process and to help you along with the steps. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Flip a home today, how to do it, and give you some advice on that process.
Great topic.
I think the first thing is understanding what's involved. A lot of people watch some of those shows. They make it look so easy on flipping or renovating a property.
Don't they, though?
And it's not that easy. It's a great opportunity. We're never going to discourage you from it. And there's where there's opportunity, there's always reward, but it's a lot of work. So hopefully what we can talk about is that process, firsthand experience, and be a trusted source for you. If you're thinking about purchasing an investment property, if it's your first flip or your 10th flip, hopefully partner with us, and we'd be a glad opportunity to walk you through that process. Any kind of contractors, vendors that we have that we can refer to you to make your life easier and make that process less stressful, then we want to do that and make it an easy move for you. Timing, let's talk about that. What does it take time-wise? Most people are underestimating the time involved in flipping a property. You live at the property if you're doing the work yourself.
Definitely.
I remember our days at Home Depot. I feel like we know that store inside and out. Home Depot and Lowe's. Well, and so understanding that process, that it's going to take a lot of time on the beginning. It's going to take commitment. You may be over there with your kids. I mean, the wife's going to be over there multiple times if you're acting as the general contractor or the sub for that. So
together.
Understand that time and commitment involved when buying a property. Knowing timing's everything. Okay, so when you close on a property, whether you're paying cash or financing, time is money, right?
That's right.
So the quicker that you can get the repairs done, the quicker that you can get into the property, the quicker you can get it on the market. And then, then you can get it sold and have an offer and all those things. So I think the biggest thing when people look at flipping a home, and some of our vendors, whether it's or other people that are in trades, contractors that are electricians or plumbers, the first thing they think is, well, I can do this. I'm in this field. Let me do a lot of the work myself. And I would strongly suggest against that. Let me tell you why. If you're a contractor, whether it's an electrician or a remodeler or a painter, you make your money by doing other jobs, bidding other jobs for other people. And the biggest mistake you can do is do the work yourself and believe that you can get paid and make a large profit when you're trading time for money. It's very important that you delegate a lot of the tasks, that if you're a painter or electrician, you're working clients just like us. And it's important to keep the process and the pipeline moving. The challenge is you take away from your main business and reinvest your time, your energy that's free, and then calculate that as kind of a gain. Well, in return, you could have done 4 or 5 flip jobs or paint jobs or electrician jobs that pay you and not do the labor there. So I think that's important. Understand if you're going to do some of the smaller stuff, that's okay. But the larger items, sub it out. Time is money. Scheduling. Are you going to be a contractor? Or are you going to hire a contractor out, and let them manage the whole thing? Obviously, if you manage the whole thing, there's a lot more profit. There's a lot more opportunity in it, but there's a lot more time.
a whole lot more time.
Yeah, and so you have to make a decision. Can you find a partner that's willing to price the job, handle all the items, and pay them one lump sum, or do you want to sub it out? Just really depends on whether you're doing 1 or 2 a year, or you're doing 50 or 80.
Oh yeah, the more that you have, I think that you need to work a deal with some of your, contractors that you have and get them to fill in and do some of that stuff for you while you're out doing your other job, making money.
Makes sense. And I think the first thing you want to do starting on is really how do you find that property, whether it's your first one or your 10th. With inventory down now in the market, it's hard to find a good deal. Back 4 or 5 years ago, there's deals everywhere. But the market wasn't moving as strong as it was. So where do you find the deal? And sometimes you would look at a deal and it's not really a good deal. It's actually above market or at market value. You can't make any money.
And how do you know?
Well, I think by doing it. And I think that's where you've got to partner with an agent like us or somebody that's been in the business. The money's made on the buy, right? So when you buy the property, the money's made on the beginning. It's not on the rehab. It's not per se what you're going to sell it for. It's what's the price that you're able to negotiate on the front end, realistic expectations on the repairs, and then timing of the market and your comparables. We've got something neat for our audience, and we're going to be renovating a new property coming up here soon. So obviously, if you guys will watch us, follow us on any of the social media sites, if you've never flipped one or renovated one, we invite you to subscribe to our page and watch us do it. We'll walk you through the process. We'll show you what to do, what not to do. We'll show you what it looked like before. We'll show you what it looks like after, and hopefully be a resource for you and give you some ideas behind the scenes, really the challenges and some of the things. So we'll be documenting that, and there's kind of some neat stuff that we've got as well.
Yeah.
Some of those properties that we talked about, April, where do you find them? And I think, there's a good source now. Your agent is probably your number one resource. A lot of properties that are not on the market, you won't even know about it. The good deals are not hitting the market. So it's who you know, not what you know, right? It's your contacts. And we've got a lot of contacts with a lot of great agents in the area. So when a deal comes on the market or a private seller, we've got buyers waiting for it. We don't even need to put it in the MLS or anything like that.
Right.
Believe it or not, short sales, foreclosures are great options as well. There's no bigger motivated seller than the banks. They're in the business of lending money, not handling their REO, real estate division. So when they get a property, they're going to price it right, hopefully. And hopefully we can help you identify those properties that are good deals and that cash flow from the beginning if you make the right improvements and not over-improve. Estates, divorce sales, talk about those. There's something where the past due taxes come up. They come available, great opportunity for some income. There's a little bit of catch with tax properties. You got to hold it a year. So things you may want to talk to us about and certain types of title insurance that you must have, but they're a great resource as well. Knowing your market. I think the biggest thing that we talk about and that you need to understand when you're buying that first renovated property, know your comparables. And that's so key.
That's a big one.
So many times if you're working with an agent or somebody else, or even yourself, you want to think it's the largest number out there that my house sold for $250, mine could be just like that. And it's important to get a second, maybe third opinion on that value. Do your homework, do a walkthrough, ride by the neighborhood, check those other properties online. A lot of times, even if it's sold 3 to 4 months ago, you've got pictures of everything inside that you can see, and you can check out some of them, their virtual tours, tax records. Call the other agent. A lot of appraisers call us when we make sales, and they get information on the sale. Was there any closing cost? Were there any points? If you sold it really high, what made that property stand out? A lot of our properties, we put it on the market one day on the market, there's not any pictures.
Oh, wow.
So how do you even know what that property did? Yeah, so you've got to do your homework, call that agent, remind them of the sale. That's so important when you're bidding on a property, understanding that and knowing your comparables. The two important things, what you're going to buy it for and what you're going to sell it for. We see so many people make the mistake where we're going to sell it at $200, but our repair budget goes up $10,000 or $15,000, and then we're off on our sell price by $20,000.
Oh, wow.
So that deal that you think you're going to make $40,000, you start losing money.
Wow.
And depending on where you're getting the money from, then it makes a decision. Could you be losing money? Do we need to turn it into a rental? So it can be very, very tight on the numbers, and that's why it's very, very important. We got a certain formula that if you're going to do that, we're running up close on the break. We're going to talk more about that, where to get your money, how to get some financing for it, and some things not to over-approve on the other side of the break. We really appreciate you staying with us, and we'll see you here in a few minutes.
Perfect.
In the competitive real estate market, Ryan Coleman has a track record with guaranteed results.
Ryan made the sale of our home seamless. He was there every step of the way.
And our home sold the first week for full price.
With his knowledge and expertise, he took away all our worries.
And he got us much more money than we had ever expected.
Ryan is so confident that he will sell your home, he's willing to put his own money on the line. If he can't sell it in the time frame agreed upon up front, he'll buy it himself. Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty, your home sold guaranteed.
Welcome back, guys. Appreciate you staying with us. So on that topic, we were talking, what were we talking, April?
We were about to start talking about where do you get the money?
Show me the money. Where do you get the money? So there's a lot of resources out there, and flipping or renovating property, some of the banks don't like it. They're afraid that it's a big risk to them. So you've got to be a strong investor. But we've got some great resources, and want to run down some topics of where you can find money. Some are creative, some are conventional, some are non-conforming, and give you some topics there. Your normal banks, your Bank of America, your SunTrust, your credit unions, they've got a lot of programs, 20% down, 25% is a safe bet.
Okay.
You always want to cash flow from the beginning, just in case you get into that deal. You need to make an adjustment on the price, or you need to make an adjustment on the sales price. You can do it. You always want to look worst case. That's why you don't want to do no money down. Obviously a lot of banks kind of want you to have a little skin in the game. So it's important that, you got 20% to 25% allocated for your down payment. You've also got to have repair money. And you always want to budget high, 10 to 15%. We've got a worksheet here at our office that we'll be glad to share to you. All you got to do is just subscribe to us, or drop us a quick message on Facebook, or go to our website at ryancoleman.org and leave us a message. And it's a spreadsheet, pretty helpful, that when you go through a property, it gives you a budget breakdown. It knows what our repairs are. It knows, whether you're going to need so much for flooring, so much for cabinets, so much for improvements. Then your financing, your budget, your title, all that good stuff. And so it gives you a baseline versus just kind of winging it, going off kind of a mental note of what you think those costs are going to be.
Right, that's important.
Believe it or not, those costs are going to go pretty quickly. And what you think will be $30,000 can turn into $50,000 real quickly.
Yes, it can.
Yeah, so it's important that you have some money and some reserves put away, and that you always over budget and include that in your cost. And then be very conservative on your selling price. That's very important. Be realistic. We want to maximize the home's value, but have realistic expectations. I know you want to get 200, but maybe the real number is 192, 193, and be conservative on that. Cash is king. It allows you to save a lot of money on your flips. So if you over budget, you're not paying closing cost or loan fees or hard money fees or things like that are associated with the loan. It'll probably save you at least a good $3,000 to $5,000 in every purchase that you buy, depending on your sales price.
Okay.
IRAs, 401ks. I don't know, a lot of people know that you can purchase real estate with a 401k or IRA, or borrow money from a self-directed IRA that you control. I know we have one set up that if you borrow money from it, as long as you pay it back, there's certain rules and restrictions. Definitely want to get with your financial advisor on that, but there's a lot of programs that you can put into a real estate property. It has to be structured right. You have to have it titled right. So there's a lot of things that if you don't do it right, you could have some tax consequences. But very important that you can purchase real estate with that, believe it or not.
Wow.
Equity lines. If you've got some real estate property that's got equity, it's investment. You don't live there. You can use that as an equity line. A lot of our banks will let you borrow money against that, and it'll be a revolving to pay interest only. But the fees are very, very low. You got a couple $100 to open those equity lines.
That'll get you started.
Yeah, and some of our credit unions will do it for practically nothing. And so it's a good revolving source. Private money, I don't know if you ever heard of that. We've got some friends and some colleagues that do hedge funds and things like that, where they pull together and will invest in certain deals and large pools of real estate. So there's a great opportunity there. I know you've heard of hard money.
Hard money lending.
Very expensive, probably the most expensive way to go. You're going to pay 8 to maybe 14% interest rate. So you better know what you're doing when you get into hard money, and make sure that you have your numbers and your reserves right, because it's very expensive. But for some projects, we've got some lenders that will allow you to roll those improvements into the loan.
Okay.
So makes some of that reserve money that you have, you can finance that into deal that some other banks just don't have that. So it's a great source where if you're not going to own or occupy the property, you have that option. This gives you some great resources to do the renovation.
So you do need some cash to get started. It's I think we had a question from somebody that said, they asked, can I buy investment property with no money down? I'm thinking you probably need a little bit of money.
This may date me, but we got first started in real estate. I don't know if you remember our guy Carlton Sheets.
Nope.
Remember that one? I love that guy. He was the no money down, buy your first property. A lot of creative. We talked about a lot of the assumptions. Real estate back in the day, they used to have something called assumables and non-assumables and non-qualifying assumptions, and a lot of real estate was sold and bought during those times. All that means simply is you could assume this property, non-qualifying, no tax returns, no credit pull, whatever that person owes, and then you just have to work out the equity position. So a lot of creative financing was done back in the day, no money down. When the mortgage market melted down and everything kind of shut down, those loans have been faded out for a while.
Oh, wow.
You can still qualify and still do some assumables, but they make you requalify again.
Gotcha.
And so the no money down is really not made for investing, and it's not smart money on the beginning side. Now, I would tell you that on the other side of that, if you're thinking about purchasing a property, let's say a duplex or a quad, FHA has some financing, and Fannie Mae is some great owner-occupant properties. If you're going to occupy one side, which is a great way to start, if you're renting and you want to invest in multiple doors of real estate, we still have 4 units, up to 4 units that you could finance through FHA, Fannie Mae, and some properties 97%. 5% down. So
interesting.
Seller can pay closing costs. So that's a great way that if you're thinking about transitioning to the investment side, as long as you own or occupy it for a period of time, then you can do your first one that way with a lot of resources.
Okay, nice.
So we're going to talk about when you get into the property and you buy it, you want to make it look its best. You want to have great curb appeal. You want to bling it, I say.
Yeah.
But there's some chances that you may want to over-improve it. You don't want to overdo it. I think April's going to talk about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we get in there and that we want to put our own touches, what we think will look best to make it look the top house in the neighborhood. But, going in there and putting granite and stainless steel appliances and travertine flooring and just all of this stuff that will make it look fantastic and very appealing, you then have to increase your price point. And so increasing your price point maybe in that neighborhood isn't going to bring the buyers in, and that's how you can start losing money if you put too much into it. There are things you can do, like if you find a great deal on stainless steel appliances, for the Black Friday holiday, you can throw those in there. That it's not that big of a deal, but you need to stay on your budget and make sure you keep that budget sheet up to date and see where you're at in that. So yeah, over improving is not the way to go, but making it look nice. There are things out there that will make it look really nice.
We get a property, and from time to time, it's our hobby. We like to play with the real estate, and so again, our passion is selling real estate. But we pick one up, and we enjoy real estate. I've always told you in this show, we firm believer of what we do and what we say we invest in. But sometimes I get into a property, I want to overdo it. So my wife is good about, no, you don't need to overdo it. You don't need to add granite countertops or, so I think that's the key, is really understanding, bring your wife in or bring another partner in, get another set of eyes, get your realtor to come in and really know the market, what that subdivision's doing. So you understand exactly what the comparables are.
Yeah, you don't want to underdo it either, though.
No.
You don't want to, try to cut corners just to make more money because the inspection to come back and, may fail inspection or, it just doesn't look as appealing. So
I think we'll go into the other topic, really just importantly, before we go close, pricing's everything. It's always about the numbers. Really know your comparables. I think that's very key. Lean with your agent. Call us. We'll be glad to do any research for you.
That's right.
And give you a real estimation of what the home's going to sell for. Yeah. You can obviously always go to our website and do a free CMA. We'll do it online. There's no obligation. And you go to our website at ryancoleman.org. And so, that's very important is price it right. Once you have the property ready to go, stage it right. Yeah. You want to market it right. You need an agent that's going to actually push it out to the market space and really go out there and find that buyer.
Right.
Well, you're listening to Real Estate with Ryan every Saturday at 5 o'clock. We're going to be talking anything and everything real estate.
Hope this was helpful today.
I hope it was. And again, you can follow us on social media, and we'll be flipping that property coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully it can help you when you're walking through. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and look to see you and talk to you next week.
Yeah, I hope you're out there having fun Christmas shopping. Don't get too stressed out.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Okay.